Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're exploring the beautiful port of Amber Cove in the Dominican Republic. We're on another Carnival cruise and I'm excited to show you this port. I've been to this port a few times before. On this particular day, it was not the best weather. Over there you can see the little villas that you can rent out as an excursion, but it was not a good day to do that. As you can see, the water almost looks like a chocolate milk instead of the normal blue waters that you see here. But I have been here before and I can tell you that the water on a good weather day is fantastic. So we're going to be doing a complete walking tour of the port today. Here we're entering in through the duty-free shop. It's always nice on the hot days walking through this and taking your time because it's usually nice and air conditioned. But if you're looking for jewelry or liquors, perfumes, little souvenirs like keychains, maybe some candy bars, anything like that, they all have all of that kind of stuff at all of these duty-free shops at most of the ports. Then exiting through the other side of the duty-free shop, we're now entering into the actual port area. These guys straight ahead here, that's where you would meet if you were doing any excursions or anything like that. They're usually holding up a sign and it will have a number or the name of the tour that you're going on. So it's quite easy to find if you have booked an excursion and you want to meet people, or if you haven't booked an excursion, you can walk up to them and they'd be happy to get you an excursion booked. So even though it was very windy today and the water looked like chocolate milk, the skies were really pretty, very beautiful blue. The shopping part of this cruise port reminds me a lot of the Mahogany Bay cruise port. I'll post a link down below, so if you guys haven't watched that one, you can watch it. But very similar in layout and amenities available. Not so much the swimming areas, but this one has a large pool area as opposed to the access to the ocean area. Over here, you got a beautiful view of the ship. And again, guys, it is so windy here. Oof, blowing me away today. In this little complex here, they have a lot of little vendors selling like handmade jewelry and candles, a lot of different chocolate artisans selling chocolate in these places as well. And they have a whole shop you'll see in just a few minutes that's dedicated entirely to chocolate. Better view of some of the vendors. It wasn't an issue for us today, but on those hot days where there isn't a breeze, they do have several fans up above trying to keep this area a little bit cooler because unlike the other buildings, this is not air conditioned. This cruise port also had so many different areas for people to sit and seating areas in the shade, as you can see here underneath that tree and underneath the awnings outside each business. I absolutely love that, so you could rest and relax, especially if it's hot out. Here's the Del Sol and Caraloha shops, all the color changing stuff and the stuff made out of bamboo. Usually on the ship, they give you a little certificate so you can go in and get a free bamboo necklace and a free color changing ring. Walking around here, it wasn't crowded at all. We didn't get off the ship particularly early or late. I think everyone was just sleeping in, or I don't know, they decided not to explore this port, but it was very empty and had the whole place to ourselves, it seemed. I absolutely love how well maintained and groomed this cruise port was. Everything was clean. There wasn't trash anywhere or gum on the floor or anything like that. And this building right here is the chocolate world. You can go inside and they've got lotions and chapsticks all made out of chocolate and several different chocolate samples for you to try and then buy if you'd like. They also had a chocolate tea that was fantastic. It tasted kind of like hot chocolate, but without all the sweeteners and stuff. It was wonderful. Highly recommend stopping in there and trying some local chocolates. Over here is a little restaurant area. And again, look how well landscaped everything is. It's just beautiful. A nice little photo op with the ship in the background that says Amber Cove. You can see that wind, it's really whipping around today. And on port days like this, if we're not on excursion, typically we go back to the ship for lunch and then come back out if we want to. But if you chose to eat at that restaurant, it looks like it did have a wonderful view of the port area and the ship. Absolutely beautiful. And this restaurant is the same owner and menu options as one of the restaurants that we'll show you in a little bit. We go up on the top of the hill, or I'm not sure if they classify it as a mountain, but it's a little lookout area, and I'll show you all of that. It was quite wonderful. It was a hike up there, but it was well worth it. Checking out the rest of the shops here. A lot of the shops have the same stuff that you'd expect to see at all the other ports and about the same prices. It wasn't more expensive and it wasn't cheaper. And that little pavilion to the right there that you keep seeing a bit, they have a little place in there where you can get information about Amber Cove. And if you brought your passport and you want to get a passport stamp, they'll stamp your passport. For those of you who collect passport stamps. That's the little bus depot for excursions that depart, or if you wanted to grab a taxi and check out the rest of the island. More shopping. Little pharmacy if you wanted to pick up band-aids or sunscreen or anything like that. They've got all your needs that you may have forgotten to bring on the ship. Again, more seating. Isn't that wonderful, having all those spots to sit down and relax? But this is the main part of the shopping trip. Oh, you can see my hair flapping in the wind. Sorry about that. Told you it was windy today. And on this particular cruise, we were going to Amber Cove and we were supposed to go to Grand Turk, but that protocol ended up getting canceled because of the weather. It was too windy to dock. So this ended up being our only protocol on this particular cruise. But the Carnival team did a great job keeping us entertained on the ship during that impromptu sea day. They did such a fantastic job. I really appreciate that team. And here's one of the gathering areas for one of the pre-booked excursions. You can see everyone gathering in to follow their tour guide. And there's another one there. And that over there, that's the view of where we came in through the duty-free shop. More hair flapping in the wind. It's quite windy. My hair would not be restrained. No hair tie or clip could handle the wind. And this was kind of a cool little bit. It wasn't as cool as the Mahogany Bay port that had the nature trail, but they talk about, Amber Cove's role in the movie Jurassic Park, and Amber. It's quite neat to read that. And then they've got this little bitty nature trail, if you will, and it's got a couple of water features. I'm not going to go ahead and say waterfalls, but waterfall features. Little bridges, nice little serenity area. I think these are great hidden in the little port areas to just walk through and enjoy and take pictures. And up ahead, that's a giant replica of an amber piece that was found on the island. Lots of foliage. You can just smell it. It just smelled green and fresh and beautiful. Felt like you were on a real nature trail going on a little hike without all the effort. They had fish in the ponds and several different spots to take pictures. This is one of those areas, though, that got very crowded. About 30 minutes after I took this video, it was almost hard to walk through this area. So if you want to check this out and get good pictures with no one else around, I recommend getting off the ship early. Those flowers, water, it was absolutely beautiful. Nice little area. So this is another meeting point for the excursions, so it can get crowded. And we've come in a giant circle here. So Just to the right is the duty-free shop where you enter into the port. So now that we've checked out the shopping side, let's go check out the other side, more of a leisurely side where you've got the pool and bars and the cabanas and the water sports if you've rented out any of those things. So let's go check it out. If you're traveling with anyone that has accessibility issues, this is another wonderful port. All of the pathways were very wide and smooth, very easy to navigate, so that's not a concern here. If you have mobility issues, I highly recommend this port simply because the pathways were wide, uncrowded, and smooth, not too much terrain, just a very nice, clean port. And here's the pool area. This is completely free to use in the common areas. There is a little VIP area, but all of this bit right here is all open to use as you will. There's a bar over on the left and up on the upper deck there. And then down below, they've got a little swim up bar. Isn't that fantastic? Nice clean water. Not too much sunshine, not exactly the best pool day today, but it was a beautiful setup. When we first saw this pool area, I thought it's impossible that everyone from the ship is going to fit in these tiny little chairs area, but there are a lot more chairs around the backside, and you'll get to see that. Off to the right here, that is where the cabanas are, and then you can see all the rental pricings if you want to rent any of the cabanas or anything extra for your day here in Amber Cove, but those are the cabanas we saw when we first entered into the cove off the ship. Beautiful little area if the weather is cooperating. But let's go check out the rest of this pool area because there's lots to see. Again, I thought it was just this little area here, and you don't really realize how big this pool area is until you start going, oop, that towel just flew off that chair. Today's definitely one of those days where you want to invest in those chair clips to hold your towel down. Otherwise, it is going for a ride. Again, I thought it was tremendously weird that no one was getting off the ship at this port. It was very interesting. I mean, you saw a few people there by the excursion meeting points, but the weather wasn't extremely cold. It was very windy, but there were not very many people out walking around at all. It really surprised me. Over on that other side, those little white loungers, that's the VIP area, but this part here, that's all free to sit. Some sunny spots and shady spots, good variety of both. I know a lot of my friends have asked, is this a port that I should buy an excursion? And that kind of depends. If you're just looking for a little beach day, I'd recommend just taking advantage of this beach, or pool if you will, because it's free. But if you're looking for a little bit more adventure, then you might want to consider an excursion. We saw over on the other side, there was a little kids splash zone. And going up and over this bridge here, on the other side of this bridge, that is all the VIP area. So that actually costed extra if you were going to camp out in that particular zone. But anything around the outside bit was all free. I don't know exactly how much the VIP area was. I tried to find some information out about it, but was unable to get that for you. I do apologize. There was just not staff anywhere around that was able to answer questions, or anyone that had knowledge about it. Not even sure exactly who or where you would pay to take advantage of that. And I don't believe that that was an add-on excursion offered by Carnival, so I'm not sure exactly how you would facilitate that. But if someone knows and you've been there before, please let us know in the comments. How much was it and how did you book it? It had rained the night before and that morning, so you see everything's a bit wet here, but the VIP area has these chairs and it has umbrellas and then the little chairs in the water. Thought that was a nice feature. And hidden over on the back side, they've actually got a little food stand that has, concession type foods like nachos and hot dogs and chips, sodas. VIP for rent. Several different accesses and entryways into the water. I definitely think the coolest part, though, is that swim up bar right when you first came in. Very cool. Now we're going to take a little trek up and check out the Sky Bar. I highly recommend taking a picture of that menu before you head up. The menu prices on that sign were cheaper than the menu when you got up there, and they didn't want to honor the prices until we showed them that we had a picture. Then they agreed to give us those prices, which was upsetting, but they honored our price after all. But I feel like we shouldn't have had to take a picture. And if you want to take this and you have mobility concerns, there is a ramp on the backside where you can access it that way, so you don't have to take these stairs. But I believe this was a bit of a shortcut. It was like a nice little nature walk. It was stairs here, and it was mostly shaded, so it wasn't terrible, but it was a bit of a workout, but it was worth it. The view up on top was fantastic. This is on the way up there. You can see our ship and the unfortunately muddy looking waters. It doesn't always look like that, guys. It really is beautiful water. Okay, everyone's waking up on the ship now. Look at them all come off the dock. Oof, it's going to get crowded here in a few minutes. That's all right. Finally on top of the hill or the mountain or whatever you want to call it here. That's a little zip lining thing if you want to do that. This is a view of the rest of the island, the non-port bit of the island. Isn't it beautiful? Green. It is so windy today, guys. It's blowing everything around. And this is a little bar area. Let's go check that out. And again, here you've got two options. You can do the accessible ramp that kind of wraps around, or you can take the stairs straight up to the top. Oof, I'm getting my workout in for you guys today. Quite a hike, but look at that view. You can kind of see the water blue over there. It's just really murky and churned up because of the wind, but you guys, usually this is a beautiful port and the waters are usually blue and crystal clear and wonderful. But look at that view. Isn't that spectacular? The only downside of this particular day was it was so windy that we had to literally hold our drinks, otherwise they'd tip right over and spill. But this was well worth it. And there's the view of the Sky Bar. If you go there, definitely make sure you take a picture of the menu before you head up so you don't get cheated on prices. Another view of that waterfall from the nature trail. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe. It certainly helps out my channel, and I don't want you to miss out on future videos. Until next time, bye.